Welcome back to the Loveland Report, the Lone Ranger Show. I am Cleve Loveland, alongside Bruce Woodburn, the Lone Ranger. We are giving out advice on how to get into a home.
Giving it out.
Giving it out. We're going out.
We're not
Great.
selling it.
That's right. Had some listings we talked about. Prices are still rising. Get in there now. You've got choices. You've got sellers paying closing costs now.
More than I've seen in a long time.
Well, this is the worst market, Bruce, in 16 years. This is, not say worst. Let's say slowest for Central Florida. And it's not as slow as it was 16 years ago because our population was probably only 70% of what it is now. But it's still a very slow market, and it's going to.
But that's an advantage for buyers. But it's so amazing that buyers don't see it.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think most Americans miss out on the opportunities, and they always look back in hindsight and go, yeah, I probably should have done.
Shouldn't have sold my first 3 homes.
Yeah, I made mistakes too, but we're here to help you avoid those mistakes.
Should take the sell. And this is, it depends on, you know what this is. If you ask a realtor what market absorption is, and they kind of look at you cross-eyed like, what? Run, and then call me. But the market absorption, you say, let's say you got 3 acres with a 5,000 square foot home in Lake County. Do you look at just that subdivision, or you look 15 miles around it? What people are spending. And you got to watch that, because a house like that, there's probably only 1 or 2 between $1 million.
Well, when they become a little bit more obsolete like that, it's harder to comp them out.
I'd say higher end, but you got to
Higher end.
But still, that market is, a seller will say, I'll show them something that, hey, this one's here sold for $1.3 million. They're like, that's not like my house. I go, yeah, but they had $1.3 million and they didn't buy yours.
Right.
And that's what you got to watch, because time is money. And then what is your plan? This particular gentleman is going down to a $300,000 house, which those are appreciating faster than the $1.4 million. So you got to look at those things. Their market absorption in a certain neighborhood, usually what I'm seeing right now is I'll check a neighborhood. I'll go 20, 30,000 above and below the price for the last 3 weeks. When I sit down with my seller, that's another thing. If you're listed, you should be seeing your realtor every couple of weeks to go over the market and what's happened, how many people looked at your home. If you didn't sell, who did? And I'll go over that with them. What I'm saying is usually, Bruce, there might be 5 or 6 homes that sold, like 2 or 3 a week. And I'm only seeing 1 or 2 a week sell. And so
you know what your average sale time is? I mean, you look at
mine's
are right.
I got all different prices in all different areas. Right now I'm running about 3 to 6 weeks to sell. Average time on the market, we're pushing almost 3 months, and we'll get the numbers. I should have those numbers in a couple of weeks.
So
yeah. And my people get on with their lives and move on. Nobody calls me and says, hey, I want to be on the market for 9 months. People, they want to get. And so once I show them the data and show them what's going on, no matter how shiny your penny is and how much stuff you've done to it, the market value, Bruce, is what they walk away from the closing company. Yeah. No, not for lead cards. Yeah. Not for the. Yes.
80 grand now.
Probably again, slowing the truck down. Yeah. 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 So that's why you said, call me about what you're going to do for improvements. Call me on how to get ready to sell. And then we'll talk about pricing, because here's the next thing. So, okay, you've been on the market for a month, Bruce, and we don't sell. Some of your neighbors did. How much do we adjust the price?
Well, and don't you go back and say, how many showings did we have? If we had no showings and no one, then you got a price issue. You have a price issue.
But if you had a bunch of showing and no offers, let's say you had 8 people through, 8 realtors through on a $1.2 million home in 3 weeks and didn't get any offers, adjust the price 20, 30 cents.
Or could it be conditioned at that point too? Could it be the house?
Now I will get feedback. I don't see too many ones who are like, horrible shape. If something's, dated or on a lake at that price. But that's another thing too. Look at that. What was the feedback? Because especially depending on your price, it's always like, let people pick their own colors and do their own work. If it's really bad, they don't do it. And especially if you're in the higher price range, because both mom and dad are probably working, or dad's too busy. Dad's not going to pick up a hammer and paint a room. And mom's chasing kids around the house sometimes. So you got to watch these things. And the fixer-upper always gets way less than it should. So that's actually some deals. If you see something that's a fixer-upper and it's not, and it's just cosmetic, not structural, like the problem, always get an inspection. That's what people can make some really, because people think a buyer walks into a house, let's say it has an old kitchen, the carpet's all torn up from 5 Great Danes they used to have, and the buyer looks at it and goes, oh my God, this is going to cost me 50 grand. No, I got a floor guy, I got a painter. It's a 2,000 square foot home. going to cost us about.
And I have a renovation loan if you don't want to pay for it out of loan.
Yeah, I've got $9,000. You know, you get done for like less than $9,000. So all those things come into play, and you got to watch that to see what's going on. And when buyers always think repairs cost more than they do, you know, you don't have to do a $80,000 kitchen. I can get your kitchen done for 10, 20, 30, depending on the size. So call me if you got questions on that, 407-352-8118. If you know somebody having trouble selling, they're not on the market, or they're for sale by owner, not selling, have them call me. I'll be happy to help.
Yeah, and the loan arranger at 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. So a lot of things changed with Hometown Heroes. Did you hear about that?
You got to be a hero again.
So now you got to be a hero. That means a teacher, law enforcement, firefighter, things of that nature, nurses. Yeah. So those are the only ones that qualify. They have told us, do not call to find out if your type of employment qualifies. In bold letters, do not call us to ask us when Hometown Heroes is going to come out, because it's not been confirmed yet is when it's going to come out. What happened is DeSantis signed the bill for $50 million. Now it's got to go to the Florida Board of Directors. Once the Board of Directors gets it, then that will go and it will start being implemented. But we don't even have that date yet. Now, I will tell you, $50 million for just heroes is going to last a little bit longer than $100 million for everyone. Okay. But there was a lot of folks. I got a lot of folks that have been sitting on the sidelines that aren't heroes that needed the money. Now they won't. But there's other down payment assistance. Matter of fact, I got down payment assistance programs, quite frankly, that'll give you more money than even Hometown Heroes.
Yeah, it's first and second mortgage.
I've got a first and second grant. I've got so many different programs to help people get in. But you got local down payment assistance programs. The difference in those is generally the income limits are far less than Hometown Heroes. They were more generous on income. But the fact of the matter is, if you are a teacher, law enforcement, you are a veteran, you are active duty, you're a firefighter, you're a correctional officer, and you are renting, you are making a major mistake. This money will last for maybe 2 months. Then it's gone. So here's the process. First things first, you call me now and get your application completed and fully approved, not pre-approved, fully approved. Go to webringyouhome.com or call me at 407-250-9144. Now, once you do that, then we get you in front of Cleve and his team goes out and finds a home for you. Now, we got to find a home relatively quickly, because as soon as the money comes out, it's going to be reserved quick because there's a lot of people sitting on the sidelines. So then you identify the home, you go under contract, I secure the funds for you, and then we get you up to $35,000 in down payment assistance from Hometown Heroes. It's pretty simple, but you now have to be a hero. So teacher, law enforcement, firefighter, correctional officer, veteran, nurses, those kind of things are heroes. And I think it's great that they have a program for that. But we also have Florida Bond, which is very similar. The income limits are different, and you can only get up to $10,000. But there's other programs available for people that need the money. So if you need the money, you got to call me. I got the money. We'll find the money for you.
Yeah, or just get the application in and you can say, this is where you stand in.
I do a lot of consultations.
Your lease doesn't run out 5 or 6 more months. We can start you looking.
I think that's a perfect time. 5 months before you're ready.
Because usually you can get out of those the last couple of months, maybe with a life penalty, but get into something down. Literally every month you Joel Black probably costs you $1,000 in appreciation if you're a person in age 39, 350, 400. You're going to make $10,000, $15,000 a year in appreciation. But they need to get with you so that you can say, no, wait, do this to your credit card. Pay this off. Don't adjust the car. It's fine. It's less than 12 months. All those things that come up and help their credit score. Because, Bruce, if my credit score is 650,
yes,
for rate benefits even.
Absolutely.
So that's the other thing.
Except for on FHA.
And a lower rate.
It's going to be a lower payment and more house.
So, see, Bruce, we'll help you out. 407-352-8118 or Cleve Loveland.
Yeah, or Bruce Woodburn, the loan arranger at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. You just mentioned that how much are you leaving on the table by not buying? Well, first of all, if your average rent, let's just say is only $1,500, which is low. Okay, it's 18, but let's just say it's 15. If you bought a $400,000 house and it only goes up by 3% per year, that's $1,000 a month in appreciation, $1,000 a month. So if your payment went from a $1,500 in rent to $2,500 in mortgage payment, it's the same.
What
You own the home.
more
The mortgage is going down. Tax breaks. You can have a pet. You can fence in the yard. You can paint the. You can paint. You can make purple rooms if you want to. There's no such thing. I haven't met one. Well, I think that rates are, first of all, I don't think Powell's going to drop the Fed rate, and I'm in favor of that. I know a lot of you people think that him dropping the Fed rate is going to help mortgages. It's not. It's going to make them worse. It's going to make them worse because it's going to stimulate the stocks. It's going to pull energy out of the bond market, and it's going to cause interest rates to go up. Just look what happened in September. Look what happened in November. Look what happened in December. Every time the Fed dropped the Fed rate, mortgages went higher. Leave it alone. All that we need to happen is keep inflation under 2. We're at 2.1 right now. We're almost there. When we get to 1.9%, I'm going to start. I think rates are going to be in the low 6s. They might even hit the high 5s.
Look, last year's sale.
Yes.
And a lot of people said, okay, and those people, it was probably January, beginning of the year. People said after the holidays, about buying something. Sorry, hearing about prices going up because we've had crummy rents and stuff. Let's say higher rates.
Higher rates. They're not crummy. They're lower than the national average.
So it's just, it's going to get better. And if rates go to 6.25, I think we're back in the multiple offer situations on most homes.
Yeah, I think,
And I think
it's certainly gonna get more people that are sitting on the sidelines into the market. I think if we can get into the 5s, then the buyers are going to be out of the market again. You will not have an opportunity to negotiate. And that's why I push buyers right now, because you have a best opportunity. I'll refi you later when rates drop, but now you have the best opportunity to get into a home. Hell, Cleve and I negotiated 6% in closing costs and got a 2-1 buy down for our client the other day. That was absolutely insane.
2-1.
2-1 buy down is I get you 2% lower than today's rate. So if today's rate is 6 3/4, you got 4 3/4 for 1 year, you got 5 3/4 the next year, then you got 6 3/4 the
You
next
do a 1 year buy down the whole lot.
1 year. I can do 2 years. I can do 3 years.
It's part of life. Instead of paying discount points. You refinance, let's say you refinance that mortgage in 8, 9, 10 months. What's left of that money? Because that money set aside.
If you permanently buy it down, you don't get the money back, but you temporarily buy it down, it's your money.
Right.
So it's the way to go. My name is Bruce Woodburn. They call me the Lone Ranger. And I'm right here in your backyard, right in Winter Park. I serve the entire state of Florida, and I lend in all 50 states. You can call. I did. You can call me now at 407-250-9144 or go to WeBringYouHome.com. It takes 10 minutes. However, listen, I like doing personal meetings. If you can't come into my office, let's do a Zoom meeting. When I can show you numbers, I literally show my numbers and then they'll go, oh, well, I applied at Rocket Mortgage. Let's pull up Rocket Mortgage. I pull up their rates right in front of them and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy's doing that.
You're paying for that NASCAR team.
Do you know why? Because they need to know the truth. They got to know the truth. And you guys are getting bamboozled out there. Come to me. I'm a direct lender. I'm all 50 states. Cleve Loveland, give him your number real quick. We only got 30 seconds.
Sell, buy, manage your investment properties. Keep working all weekend. I'll be 407-352-8118. Have a
yeah, for listening to us. We really appreciate you. Cleve and I are so grateful to have clients like you that rely on us and trust us to make sure we help you navigate your real estate experience. If you know somebody that could use our help, we'd be honored to help your friends and family. Just give Cleve and I a call. We're right here. We're in your backyard, and we are reachable and approachable. Thank you for the opportunity to help each and every one of you. God bless, and thanks for listening to my show. Listen to my show tomorrow at 11 o'clock on WDBO as well. If you're driving through Tampa, pull up the bone. Have a great weekend.